post-game review with Sports Unfolded. my main man, Ron, over here.
I'm in
Right
mourning.
over there he is. You see him? My main
I'm
man,
in
Ron.
mourning in the morning. Oh, it's
Morning
actually
in the morning.
afternoon.
Yeah, it is afternoon. Some
That's
NFL
right.
games going on right now as we're
Yes, I
having
was
the
watching
show.
Tennessee Pittsburgh because I could not watch the Buffalo game with those horrible uniforms. I couldn't. I had to shut it off. I had to change it to the Pittsburgh game.
So we're going to review the Patriots losing to the Indianapolis Colts last night, 27-17, snapping their 7-game win streak. Overall, your first initial thoughts on the game?
They played pretty bad for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't show up.
let's look. There was a letdown. It was eventually going to happen. I didn't want it to ever happen, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can't. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, they've been playing pretty well, and if they have one stinker, this was a stinker.
Yeah. So I looked at it in one aspect too. You know, you ride your momentum. Them having that bye week, I really think hurt them.
Yeah, for a change, it did.
Yeah, they were flat, and normally, you know, it's the opposite. 2 weeks to prepare. You see a little bit more, but it looked like they were so flat and early in this game, and they really didn't start to get it together till the end of the third quarter.
Right.
And then into the fourth, but then and it was too late at that point.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that were unsettling, especially in that first half.
Couple streaks broken. 99.
Yeah, that 99 games in a row
with at least a score. You know, so that was a little deflating to see that happen.
Yeah, that was pretty. You know, and the 2 picks. Wait, was it 2 picks? Why am I thinking it was 2 picks? It was 2 picks.
It was
right?
2 picks. Yeah.
All right. The 2 picks. You know, I mean, look, he's a rookie. I get it. I expected, you know, some games where he just wasn't there. I don't know if the crowd was so loud that they couldn't change plays at the line or anything like that. So I can't get inside the head of Mac Jones is what I'm saying.
So listen, he was 6-0 on the road.
Yeah.
This was his first game where you can really start to look at he played poorly.
Yeah.
For the most part, majority of the game.
For the first 2 2/3 quarters.
Right. So, look, I think some of that's the coaching, right? And Belichick after the game came out and, you know, they got to coach better, which we know we get the typical Belichick. But you could definitely see that whatever their scheme was to stop the run didn't work.
No, it did not.
The Colts rushed for 226 yards. It was reminiscent of what we did against Buffalo. We knew they were going to run the ball and didn't have the ability to stop it.
Yeah, I think the biggest play that stuck out in my mind was the final score for Tennessee when Hightower just overran the play. I mean, stay in your lane. Like, that's all you have to do. Stay in your lane. And that broke everyone's back there. That did it.
Yeah, so they had a comeback attempt, right? So there at one point they had to kick a field goal. It was like 9 minutes left in the game. And that hurt, like not getting the 7. You make it a 1-score game. All of a sudden, it changes the complexity of it, puts more pressure on the Colts. The Colts still had a 2-possession game.
And Mac Jones wanted to go for it, too. I mean, you saw his reaction when they were bringing out the kicker, and he's like, with his arms up, it's like, what the hell? We need to go for it.
Yeah, a couple bad reads by him overall on the 2 picks. They were clearly his fault.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, again, we got to.
And he knew it. I mean, you've seen him in the background, you know.
Hands on the helmet.
Putting his hands on his head. It's like, oh, what did I just do?
Yeah.
You know, he knows. In the end. He knows. And there's no one that feels worse than Mac Jones does today, except for maybe me and you. That's about it.
Yeah. So let's look at some of the numbers. Mac Jones, 26 for 45, 57.8% completion percentage. 299 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Overall grade.
Right.
You would give him Legion as comments. Thank you, Legion.
You know, I'd give him a C+. those two picks stick out in my head, but you know what? The kid comes back and guts it out and he almost brought this team back from a big deficit. And it was a tall task. And I know he put them into that deficit partially, but I got to tell you, he's a good quarterback. And, it's like he fell short a little. If they could have put that touchdown the second time when they
kicked
that field goal, if they could have punched one in there, I think the Patriots could have won that game.
Yeah, so I looked at it. I agree with you. About a C plus. He was average. Maybe a little better than average in the fourth quarter. Yep. So it was a tall task. You're down 20 points. The defense now knows what you're going to do too. You're trying to put points on the board. I didn't think they were effective with the running game. So Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries, 36 yards, didn't seem like they could get out of their way when it came to the blocking schemes. They just couldn't figure out how to get the ball.
And I remember one play that he actually ran into his own player.
Yeah.
And the broadcast actually gave credit to the Colts for doing such a great play. And it wasn't. I'm like, what are you watching? What are you watching?
Yeah. So,
it was frustrating, when they couldn't get that running game going. Yeah. And again, a lot of it is because everybody knows they're running on the first down. Everybody knows. It's like, I think maybe once they threw on first down.
And again,
everybody knows.
We've talked about that in the past. Not having Damian Harris obviously hurt because they like to use the two-headed monster.
Right, and he's the guy that usually sets everything up because he's got more elusiveness.
Yeah.
And that speed. Oof.
Hunter Henry, 6 receptions, 77 yards for 2 touchdowns. Looked good. Has definitely been the best tight end signing. I don't know what's going on with Jonnu Smith and them just trying to figure out how to get him involved in the offense. They try to use him just on trick plays. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, that one was a bust.
Yeah, if he's not figuring it out, or if it's just a lack of, the commitment on his part to be a part of the offense.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but Hunter Henry has stepped up this year. He's been, arguably one of the best on the offensive side of the ball, to be honest with you. I mean, I know we have Myers has done great and Bourne, and, but Hunter Henry has been steady every single game, although he did blow one block the
penalty,
that was big.
Nikhil Harry, we got a Nikhil Harry sighting, 2 receptions, 52 yards. I thought he looked pretty good. And they
what? He had a pretty good game.
Yeah, and they missed them on the flea flicker, that horrible attempt at a flea flicker play. But he was wide open. So if Mac had seen him, it would have been a touchdown for sure. But then, so one of the things I questioned, and I think I tweeted it out in the fourth quarter, I don't know what was going on with the helmet-to-helmet hits in that game. I saw a lot of it at that one point.
Oh, my God, yeah. How do you not call that?
And Nikhil Harry got literally laid out. Both of them got hurt
he did.
On it. But clearly it was helmet-to-helmet, no call there.
It was at least 2 of them that I remember.
You lose games not based off of officiating. You can't use that as an excuse. But I would say the officiating in this game was not very good because I saw a lot of things where even on one of the sacks that we had, Judon was being held.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who actually ended up with the sack, but they were being held as well. No flags. Eventually they got to Wentz, but they should have been.
The officiating was horrible, and that's why they almost had a big problem on their hands.
Yeah.
And I do believe both players should have been tossed because I know that the Colt player, I can't think of his name at the moment, he actually took a swing first.
Yeah.
And and I know the broadcast was saying, Doug, ripped his helmet off. Blah.
Yeah.
You know what? The broadcast was horrible as well.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Greg Olson. I don't like
terrible.
on
Both of them. They both
and
stink.
I literally was just going to bring that up. So the dugout being thrown out, you saw the emotion. The other key too that was very alarming was 8 penalties, and some at crucial points where they'd actually get a penalty and then back themselves up again with a false start. I mean, you saw a lot of just mental mistakes that you don't normally see from a Patriot team, especially in those key situations.
Yeah, there was a lot of those.
Yeah. So Belichick's going to be on them in practice this week. So again, big game coming up. So can't afford to lose next week. Will change the complexity of the AFC East dramatically if you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, today, I mean, we got to get some help from Pittsburgh and Carolina. I don't know how we're hoping for that to happen, but
so after this all, I had a chance to sleep on it. This is what I came up with as a silver lining to this, and let me know if you agree with this. This was a playoff atmosphere. The hits were playoff intensity. You saw the toughness. Yep. Them losing this game is probably a blessing in Bill Belichick's mind, because he can go into the locker room on Monday and say, look, if you expect to win in this league, that's how you got to continue to play. Because this team came out there to prove a point. And in the playoffs, that's what you're going to face every single week until you get to the Super Bowl and then some. So this was a great learning lesson for this team. I thought afterwards, I didn't feel like it during the game, obviously, but once I got a chance to think about it, this gives Bill Belichick an opportunity to say, look, we're not playoff ready yet. We're not a playoff caliber team. If you can't match their intensity, step for step. And this, to me,
he's gonna tell him that, Eric, and then right after that, he's gonna say, match that intensity and also the discipline.
Right.
You cannot lose it out there. And we saw them gather the defense, for that little session that they had, and Belichick was letting them know then, you guys are losing it. You guys are taking yourselves out of the game. Your anger is fueling your gameplay, and it's putting you out of position because you want to do more.
Yeah.
And you cannot do more, unless it's in your job description.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do your job. There you go.
Exactly. And like you said, he's using all this, and you're right. This could be one of those games where you use it to fuel the playoff push. Because, I mean, when you think about it, they got to play Buffalo, they got to play Miami, and next week is
Buffalo's next week. Then they got Jacksonville, and
Jacksonville. That's the other one I was thinking of.
And Miami.
So losing this game against Indianapolis, it could turn to fuel putting Buffalo down and out, because they could be out of it if the Patriots beat them. And then that's going to carry over, because that this team is going to expect to go and play Miami, and they need to beat Miami to settle a score.
Yeah.
And the Patriots want to settle that score.
And Miami's playing good football, so we can't expect Miami to just be a cakewalk.
No.
Also in this game, let's look at the fact that as much as he struggled, Mac Jones showed the ability to at least bring a team down and possibly come back from a deficit. We hadn't seen that. So again, not scoring on that late, fourth quarter and kicking the field goal. To your point, if they go for it, who knows if they make it, right? Complexity of games changes. We're not going to question that. But you could see that he was able to get the team down there, a few times in the fourth quarter to at least give him an opportunity to win the game. So that, again, another building block for him.
And I'm not going to question Belichick. I mean, I would have went for it on fourth down. But to Belichick's point on kicking that field goal, he had 9 minutes. Okay, so he's thinking,
2
All right,
possessions.
the Patriots can go out there and stop them because the defense has been playing well, right? So, his mind, he stops them. They kick it, 2 minutes, so they get the ball back around 7 minutes, and then you go down and you score, whether it's a field goal or a
Yeah,
touchdown, and then you onside kick, and then you try to get the ball back, or even try to stop them again. Like it depends on the time, of course. So, I mean, I get it because his defense is that good. Like, I'm not going to get on this defense,
yeah,
for letting up the points today.
yeah.
I mean, yesterday.
Yesterday.
You
So
know,
Eric just joined in. Eric's a Cowboys fan, and I will say right now I am rooting for the Cowboys this week, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I want the Giants to lose. I want them to fire Joe Judge so we can rehire him as a special teams coach because this special teams this year has been disastrous for New England. This
we
is
need a
the
new
third
punter.
block punt, though. But the third block punt
I know, but
this
we also
season.
need a new punter. He's
Yeah,
terrible.
leave Bailey alone. But it just, I don't listen. And even at the beginning of the game, Gunnar Olszewski, fumbling the ball, it went out of bounds, but you could see they were sloppy right off the bat. And usually our special teams are key, and you didn't see it yesterday again. And this is
Yeah,
like the
I'm
third
not
or
liking
fourth game.
Olszewski. I'm not
Yeah.
liking him. I don't
Third
care
or
if he's
fourth
an
game now that
all-pro
I've seen it.
bowler.
Yeah. Third or fourth game now that I've seen this special teams has just not looked well.
No.
So Cowboys beat Joe Judge, the Giants. Giants decide to fire Joe Judge after the season. Bill Belichick bring him back because I don't remember our special teams being this bad in many years. As we normally do, Ron, we go through our Lighthouse Awards at the end of the show,
God.
and we pick our top 3 players for the game. It was obviously very tough because we didn't have a lot to work with for 3 quarters. But at number 3, who did you have?
Oh boy.
Ugh.
We'll just say Nick Folk for the fun of it.
Nick Folk, who's
Yeah,
made our
he
list
didn't. He
every
didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he made a
Did
list
nothing
every
wrong.
week, except that kickoff.
Well, yeah.
That
So
kickoff
maybe not
was
Nick
not
Folk.
very good.
I don't know, Eric. Like we talked about it before. I mean, you got to put 3 guys in there. So I'm going to say the medical staff, like
I like
I
it.
was talking about, the
Right,
medical
yeah.
staff
They got Nikhil
taking
Harry
care
off
of all
and
those
okay.
injuries. And look, I hope Nikhil Harry is okay because I think this was his breakout game, and he's going to come back.
Yeah.
And he's going to start playing well.
I hope so.
And he blocks great too. So
he does. Listen, if they can get him involved in the offense 3-4 times a game with a couple catches, I'd take that. Yeah, I think the kid still has some legitimate talent.
I think he's growing.
Yeah.
Thank you, RTS.
And number 3, I had Mac Jones, and I gave him again 4th quarter, just what he did. And you think about the pressure he was facing from the Colts defense the entire game, and still held his poise. You could tell he was frustrated early, but he definitely calmed himself down and was able to direct that team to at least give him opportunities to win the game. So I thought, listen, overall, I thought the team didn't play well, but I could still see that you saw a little glimmers of hope that he's still going to be okay. He's all right. We're okay with Mac Jones. So I gave him number 3. At number 2, I had J.C. Jackson, and I just thought, listen, you gave up, I think you said, right, 67 yards passing in the game. The whole secondary overall did a good job of controlling that piece of the game. But I also saw J.C. Jackson make a couple of plays, almost had another interception, hands were on the ball. He could have had it. You can see that teams are very reluctant to throw to his side now. And that's just the sheer fact that he does shut down half that field for the New England Patriots. So I thought he played listen, nobody shined, but he played well enough to say to me that he controlled the side of the ball that, doesn't normally get controlled that easy by the Colts.
Number 2, I'm putting Hunter Henry. He was clearly the most consistent player on the offense through the whole game. The guy just does his job, and he does it well. He had one bad play, but all in all, that whole game, he was there when they needed him, making the catches. He got, in the end zone. This guy had a great game. So I gave Hunter Henry number 2.
I like it. Because at number 1, I gave it to Hunter Henry, and I just thought he was the only guy in the offense that was consistently where he needed to be. Even on the interception that Mac threw, the ball should have really been lofted up and not, on a low trajectory. So it ended up causing the pick. He ran the route correctly. It would have been 3 touchdowns for Hunter Henry if the ball was placed in the right spot. So I thought Hunter Henry played by far the best on this team yesterday. What about number 1 for you?
Number 1, I am
wait.
giving it to a duel.
Ooh,
A duo? Duel?
a duo.
Duo.
A duo.
J.C. Jackson and Devin McCourty.
Oh, look at you.
Look, like you said with J.C. Jackson, look, the people just aren't throwing over there. And his numbers aren't going to, balloon because of that. And so they're going to pick on other parts of the field. So Duggar, Phillips, all those guys have to be on the lookout. And the other guy, Devin McCourty, he played a good game. He seemed to be everywhere. And I remember that last play with Hightower and him covering that hole, and they went to the Hightower side. And I think there's a reason for that, because Hightower doesn't have the lateral movement that McCourty has. And he missed Henry. I mean, not Henry, Taylor. Yeah. He ran like Henry. So if you're going to Hightower's side rather than McCourty's side, that's saying something. That speaks volumes. And I believe he had a pick in that game as well.
He did. Yep. Jamie Collins batted the ball, and then McCourty.
Yeah. So he seems to be in the right place, right time, every single time. And I know we've gotten on him in the past for, just not being as skilled as he once was. And he's not. We all know this. Mm-hmm. But his mental capacity in the game, he's in the right spot. And that pick was just a sign of that intelligence on the experience he has on playing. And he's opportunistic. And he's covering those guys that, that aren't easy. Going through the middle, going up the, helping out, whether it's J.C. Jackson or Duggar or somebody else. So I think he had a great game. And
I think you have to point out and you said it, when he gathered the team on the sideline, when they were getting beat down, and just his leadership alone.
There's no substitute for that. He's been around. How many Super Bowls has he gotten? Has he gotten 3 or 4? Yeah, I think he's got
3. He's on 3.
I think he's got 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, the guy has been there. He's arguably one of the best, defenders the Patriots has had throughout all this dynasty.
Yeah.
Because of multiple positions he's played as well.
Yeah, he got drafted as a cornerback, and then they moved him to safety, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So before we next week, Buffalo, 1:00 at home. We're going to obviously break it down on Sports Unfolded on Friday night at 6 p.m. But what are you looking for in this Buffalo game?
Look, I'm looking for that return of the discipline. Yesterday's game basically reverted back to game 1, where it was just a mess. Undisciplined, uncharacteristic, across the board for the team. And it looked like the players weren't prepared. That's what it looked like. Coming up in Buffalo, they need to be prepared. They need to be focused. They need to be disciplined, and they need to be tough.
Yep. Agreed. I couldn't say it any better. I'm not even going to add to that, because I think you said it so eloquently. That was perfect. So once again, if you enjoy what you're seeing, check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. through
Yeah.
Rhode Island Broadcasting. So many different ways to watch us on different formats. You can follow us on Facebook at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Broadcasting RI or Sports_Unfolded on Instagram. Podcasts on Amazon, Anchor, Google, and Spotify. And if you're in Southeast Connecticut and you have public access, channel 12, you can see us Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. on a rebroadcast. So if you're watching that, you can always pop in on Fridays and join us. We are live. We are interactive. We've had fans tonight join us. So RTS has joined, Faceless, Eric. You guys have been great today. Thank you.
Awesome.
For our
Twitch guys.
Right? Our Twitch guys. For our Patriots recap of Week 15, tough loss to the Indianapolis Colts, 27-17. We will be on later today doing an NBA, all NBA show, just all about NBA, talking about some NBA action. We really haven't covered it much in the past few weeks. So we're just going to have some fun, talk some basketball. So if you want to join us, that should be on probably within the next half hour or so.
Oh, I got something for all those got Faceless and RTS especially. I expect you guys Friday come in the chat and give us an update on soccer in your country.
Yes.
Oh, football
in
your country.
There you
football.
Go. There we go. So let's hear it for some football. We want to hear it so we can start to get into it. But check us out Friday night, 6 p.m. Ron, thank you as always for our Patriots recap. Hopefully we'll get Kenny on for our basketball show, which will be up shortly. So everybody out there, have a great day. Ron, take care. We'll see you in a little bit.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you.